we are back again, Triggered AF, the podcast, and we are with one of my favorite humans in the world. I know y'all hear me say that a lot of times, but I really do. I collect good people.
You do.
I collect some good folks.
Come on.
Like some good-hearted folks. Okay, it's a personal like thing of mine. Everybody has their thing. That's my thing.
It sure is.
And we are here with Lucinda Cross. Now, Lucinda, your first interview, people are still buzzing about it. So we had to bring you back, especially for this particular conversation, because I'm like, no, only you can have this one.
Really?
Only you can have this one.
Okay.
With the level of care, compassion that we gonna need for it.
Okay.
This one is so y'all gird yourselves, okay?
And I feel like this is a conversation I've actually never heard before.
I've never heard this one.
Yeah, I've never heard this conversation. I've maybe heard bits and pieces of it, but I've never heard an entire conversation around this. So I'm so excited to just dive in. And we're here for a good time, not a long time. So let's rock and roll. Let's go.
So I know and you've already been, initiated into the fold because you've been here before. So what we want to know is, who are you in this season of your life?
Ooh, I'm in a cocoon phase. Yeah, so watch out for the wings.
Ooh, yes. Watch out for the wings.
First of all, I love y'all.
Oh, we love you.
And to be here live, I get to touch y'all.
Yes, we got to remember we said we couldn't touch and feel. Now I can touch and feel.
But I'm in a cocoon phase, and that means, and I think it goes with the topic of today, but just in this cocoon phase. So Lucinda Cross, but there's a cocoon phase I'm in right now, and I'm waiting for my wings to be ready.
Listen, it's the fact that you also added the waiting for the wings. Because most people think in the cocoon there's darkness, there's pain, there's hurt, there's frustration, there's loss. And you forget that, hey, the other side of the cocoon is the beautiful butterfly who is free, who is light, who is able to float and be wherever they need to be. So I love that. I love the fact that you even recognize the fact that, no, there's another side to this.
Because I'm in that cocoon phase, and I know we're moving on, but in that cocoon phase is where you have to begin to start feasting off of your own energy, your own space. Be comfortable where you're at in this moment, knowing there's something on the other side. And you may not understand it while you're in that cocoon phase, but for me, it's my time to feast off of everything that's inside of me. So,
do you feel like you've been here before?
In this cocoon phase?
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Right. Because I was wondering if sometimes that familiarity of okay, I know what this abyss is. I call it the abyss. Yeah. Because that's what it feels like.
Not the abyss.
That's what it sounds like. That's what it feels like. So that's always been how I feel it. But it's just it's interesting when you're learning to navigate those spaces and you go back to them and be like, okay, I know where I'm at.
Yeah.
I know how to get out of here a little. I always call it swimming to shore faster. So when you were talking, I'm like, it sounds like this is not her first time in the cocoon phase.
No.
You know,
not your first rodeo.
This is not my first.
Yeah. So even if it's scary or even if it's uncomfortable, you understand that the wings are coming. That's how you're able to even say it.
Absolutely.
I'm just waiting for the wings. I know what happens here.
And
sometimes using our pain and the things that we go through and just flipping that perspective of, oh no, I know what comes on the other side of this. It's just, it's such a wonderful place to get to.
Yeah.
And you have to have something to look forward to when life keeps hitting you hard.
Yeah. When life keeps jabbing, you're like, it's okay. This is literally just positioning me. It's getting me in position. I'm being pulled back because I need to be pulled in. I need to be put in position so that when I shoot forward, I'm able to be like a sharpshooter and hit my target. But if I don't get pulled back and put in position, I'm gonna be flimsy and I'm gonna go all over everywhere. So now this I love. I love.
It feels like the whole world is in a similar space.
Just
the world, everybody, the community, the ethos. There's just a lot. The energy's so charged, and I feel like it has been since COVID, and it hasn't really settled back down. It's just kind of getting more and more charged, and there's so much just happening within the Black community, period. This conversation was inspired a little bit by everything that's going on in the media with Diddy, things that have been going on in the media, even new things that have come up about R. Kelly, and just seeing our leaders or influential figures or authority figures in our community fall from grace, right? Where they are in these positions of power and they have done so much good
Yeah.
and they've done so much for the culture, and they
Yeah.
are like, you can't speak about certain aspects of music without honoring who Diddy is.
Mhm.
But what do we do when there's this person with all these talents and
Yeah.
all these gifts,
Mhm.
but they have these demons, right? So the first part of this is just kind of, let's start to dissect, what do we do in these spaces in our community
Yeah.
when we have leaders who just can't seem to get it right?
Mhm.
And how do we kind of start to reconcile how that affects us as a people?
That's good. And when just thinking about falling from grace, right? Who dare cast the first stone?
Boom. That pull. Because we all have chapters of our lives we don't want read out loud.
There's some things, and we all are going to have to, at one point or another, see all the things that we have done, whether we know that we have affected people or not.
Yeah.
And not condoning anyone's
No,
behavior.
no, yeah.
Yeah, because
This
how do we
is
hold
really-
them accountable for the deviant behaviors and honor? You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, we don't even hold our own selves accountable.
Mm.
So we're looking at a society where everyone is looking at influencers and celebrities and people that we've pushed to the light and however they got there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? But we also have to look at what grace is
Mm.
and who gives it. We don't give the grace.
Yeah.
Mm.
We don't give the grace.
Yeah.
So if he decides to, or whoever one of these influencers decides to repent and understand what they've gone through, we don't know what they've gone through. We don't know the story of their book. We don't even know how it ends.
Yeah.
So we're just coming in one phase. Right now we're seeing one chapter. We know one chapter of Diddy. We know one chapter of R. Kelly. There's countless others. And then to me, it's also the race thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's the race card. I hate to pull it, but it's the race card. Things like this have been going on for so long.
Yeah.
Within churches, within systems, within corporate America,
Yeah.
and so and we can look at, oh wow, look how great this individual is and look at all the stuff that they've created. So when they do that, we celebrate them, but then when they are not doing what you feel is good, now we condemn them.
Mm.
Yeah.
Where do we find grace for our own people? Because many of us have, if we use, how many of us have R. Kelly's in our own families?
Mm.
How many of us
Yeah.
have Diddy's in our own families? How many of us have, and so in looking at that, we have to have a level of grace for them to say they're still human.
Mhm.
They're not perfect.
Yeah.
Same thing with Jesus. I mean, if we go there, no one is perfect. We're looking at these individuals and we have to stop putting them as gods. What's happening is
Yeah.
God is removing the eyesight. So people, what I feel, you have been worshiping these individuals.
And turning them
And
into
I'm going
idols.
to remove that to show you that they're turning them into idols. And I'm going to break the idols down. But guess what? It doesn't mean that he still doesn't have grace.
Ooh.
Just he has grace in a greater eye, not in our eyes. But
Right.
what does that matter for his legacy? What does that matter for his soul and his purpose?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So God is breaking the idols. That's what we see.
Yeah. That resonates.
He's
with me.
breaking the idols. And because now we're in a space of being woke because of so many things that has happened. These things have always been happening.
Yes.
COVID just stopped us to make us think and see.
Mhm.
We wouldn't have seen. It would have just been a Diddy
We had to
story,
slow down.
R. Kelly story.
Moving
The
on.
next thing,
Mhm.
hurricane happening in Florida. But now because so many of us are woke, we're like, oh, this is wrong and this is sad. And yes, it is. I don't condone abuse. I don't condone sexual, behavior on children. I don't condone human trafficking, and many of us don't.
Yeah.
But
Most of us don't. So
Most of
that's
us
not this conversation. So y'all trying to come here to fight and argue that's not what we're
because that'll be the first thing in the comments. But
Yeah.
look what he did, and this
Yeah,
and
we're
this.
not arguing that that's right. That's not what this is at all. But I think there is some value in recognizing that, hey, we have to, as a people, stop. Kind of like you have the guy who is great at basketball, so you don't make him go to class. You don't make him study to pass tests. You allow him to have, just the full gamut
Yes.
in terms of
Yes.
activities.
Mhm.
Okay, no matter the age, but you allow them to do whatever they want, and there are no checks and balances. There are no, hey, let's develop your character too. So then you're hyper developed in one area, the area that you build mastery in.
Yes.
But then you're super underdeveloped in the areas
Yes.
that matter most, like your character, like morality, like just
Values.
being your values, just being a good human.
Yes.
So how can we just as a nation, like if you notice, like, okay, I am raising a child that maybe they are, they're a genius, right? A genius in whatever their right is, right? You're raising them, they're doing good. How can we just, as a community, not just black people, but white people too, because y'all need this part too. How can we, this is all the people, Asians, Middle Eastern, all humans, especially men, need this part. The women too, actually, because y'all been doing some things. How can we,
listen,
we've been doing some things, but you say the human race. How can we as a human race start to ensure that we're also developing the pieces that matter, not just hyper focusing on what their gifting is, so we don't develop them in any other areas?
This is so good. I think what's also important, before I even answer that question, we have to start doing this personal work. Let's stop waiting till we're 40 and 50 to get there.
To work on ourselves.
You know, I had the pleasure of doing that work, personal development stuff, when I was young, 13, before life really started to hit me.
Yeah.
And it helped me to understand when I'm in cocoon phases. It helped me to understand what grace looks like. And it helped me to look at, okay, this is when you get successful. And so when we're looking at our children and the children that our children connect with, their friends, we have to look at, this is a whole community and tribe. It's not, I'm going to dismiss this one. As parents, as human beings, as adults, we have to create and instill these core values in these kids. Getting therapy, what we're looking at is non-diagnosis is happening. What we're looking at as misbehavior not being corrected. What we're looking at is no real instruction in certain areas. So we're groomed to success. Just keep going higher. Award. Accomplishments, but no inner true fulfillment as a person. And when you have no inner true fulfillment as a person, you kind of disconnect to the world and what really matters most.
And you feel it with every little thing. So
it's a high.
It's a high.
And then it becomes about control, which is why we have like this rise of narcissism, and because everyone's so disconnected, and now it's just about kind of feeding that ego constantly over and over again. There's been so many things that have come out just outside of the sexual things that have come out about Diddy, but just like his behavior in all aspects of life, as far as how he would treat people or how he talks to people or his controlling nature of his woman outside of just a very direct abuse. It's just like, there were a lot of signs, guys, that there was a character, like some character flaws in here that maybe could have been helped sooner if there wasn't so much enabling. All right, y'all, we know we're all survivors. I'm a survivor, you're a survivor, our grandmothers are survivors, our mamas are survivor. But what does your life look like when you move from surviving to thriving?
Exactly, because here's the thing. Staying in that cycle of survival for so long makes you miss out on the best parts of life that only come after you have learned how to thrive. The challenge, if you choose to accept it and understand it, is that the only way to get to the thriving part of this whole life thing is to learn how to change.
With this program, you'll get 7 tools that you can use that will take you from awareness all the way to advancement, so that you will have the skills and you'll be able to apply some of these tools and resources to start living the life you actually want.
It is absolutely time for you to not only take control of your life, but to start creating and designing a life that feels as good as it looks. Go now, hurry up. Go.
You have a high achiever who's a low believer. And everybody's going to hold him or anyone else accountable to achieving high and achieving more. And not believing in true core values that's needed most. So what is it to constantly, that's a high. Let me continue to push to the next big thing. I have to get the next big award. Those things matter to the outside world who can judge you and allow you to fall from grace and not hold you accountable versus being a true believer in yourself. Low belief systems is a destruction for humans.
Listen, we had low belief systems is destruction for humans.
See, this is why I need to stop. But this is why you and I argue about why I think religion is necessary.
So for me,
spirituality is necessary.
No.
thank you, spirituality.
So I think, okay, so this is my point. This is the argument we have. I think that spirituality is for advanced people. I think it's a level that you get to, and the religion lays the foundation. I think the structure of churches is misguided, where I feel like it's supposed to be like a training ground. Like, I think if churches operated more like a space that you go and you learn and you get the foundation, and then you're supposed to go off and do this, or then you're supposed to start nurturing the relationship that you're supposed to have with the higher power, I think that church would be doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's not doing what it's supposed to be doing, but I think so many people don't have the foundation, and some of those core values do get instilled in those places. Not saying that they're perfect.
So you're saying that first, then spirituality?
I'm saying that it should be obviously in conjunction, but it's like, the speed limit is for the people that don't get it. Like, there are people that no matter what they see, no matter what they do, it's like, I think saying, oh, we just need spirituality is assuming that everybody is evolved enough to even handle that.
But spirituality is first.
Yes, I think
before
at
you
the
pick
core.
a religion. Because
At
a
the
religion,
core, yes.
to me, it creates a space of division if you're not spiritually
So that's
aware. When you're spiritually aware, you understand. You pray.
Like even for children?
Because spirituality, now it depends on what we're talking about,
Okay.
right? So my mother introduced spirituality in the way of there's a higher power, here's God, be a good person, be a good human, understand who you are,
Yes.
right? Which allowed me to go and understand and study different religions, but not attach myself to them.
Right.
Of course, now it's
I agree with that.
But it gave me the foundation to manage life.
Right.
Religion at first, it didn't feel good. I always condemned my own self. Oh man, my thoughts are bad.
Sure.
My thoughts are bad.
100%.
And now I just feel completely unworthy. Now when I say, God, I'm unworthy of your grace because of the spirituality, I say, because you're so good. You give me
Not
things.
because you're not good.
Not because I'm
And
not
that
good.
was how I
And I
And it was
understand.
the opposite
And I
when I
understand
came
that.
from religion. It was, you're not good, you're going to hell,
But
and
that's because it's just not functioning right. But I think what I want to say is, I think the structure is needed for more people than we think. Like, I think there's a structure that people need to learn the necessity of rituals and habit and those things to kind of develop the relationship.
Okay.
I just think the assumption that people can just do that is just, I don't think that's true.
But I think that to me is where it comes personal accountability.
Yeah.
Like, and that to me has
What is
nothing
that?
to do with religion.
Right.
Like, your personal accountability should not be connected to a religion.
Yeah.
That is, I think, the biggest issue that we have with humans right now. Because you're so great, I'm never going to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
I'm never going to tell you,
Yeah.
hey, you don't get to just punch Johnny because
Yeah.
you can shoot a ball.
Come
or you
on.
don't get to just kick Melissa because you could swim however many meters in 2
Yeah.
And they
minutes.
have entire systems to enable that and protect you.
Yeah.
Protect the abuser.
Yeah.
Protect our abusers.
Like, because you have all of these resources, you don't get to just take women's vaginas because you decided it belongs to you. Like, there are so many who just give it to you. Just take the one that's gonna give it to you.
They throwing it out. They throwing it out.
They
pass it about like hotcakes.
Okay, for free. You ain't even gotta go to jail after you finish.
They're not even telling the cops.
They're not. They excited to just give it to you.
And some of them got some really good stuff. You ain't even gotta lay out they're not asking for the
You ain't
content.
even gotta do all that.
They just want to do it just because you who you are.
And they'll play the game with you if somebody saying, "Oh no, don't," is what you need to get off.
You want to act like you ready to be, okay, let's do it tonight.
That's low-key fun.
only
Role
role
playing.
playing.
Role playing.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like role playing, if that's the.
You can choke me, but don't choke me.
Don't.
Not when it's not.
Okay, no, we're not gonna give you permission. Jeez.
But that's a good point you brought up because the privilege
Yeah.
when you are talented and gifted,
Yeah.
but then there's
Or when you're pretty or full of resources. I think this is where the parents have to come in. Because
Yeah.
whether or not you're a part of a religion, you have a responsibility as a guardian. And for me, it does take a village to raise a child.
Yes, it does.
So now, wait, because I know some of the villages don't. They got people in them who don't need to be around nobody's children.
Yeah.
But for the village that you trust,
Yeah.
where does personal accountability come in at?
Mm.
Like, my kid knows, hey, I don't get to just go off on this adult because my mama don't got good sense.
Yep.
and the people gonna tell my mama, and it's gonna be a problem. Like, or personal accountability.
Yeah.
I just don't want to go off on people for no reason, because why?
Mhm.
Like, I think that's where we maybe get back to, because like we said, there are chapters where, nobody wants certain chapters of their story read out loud.
Yep.
And I'm a very open person, and there are still parts of my story that I don't want nobody to know.
Same.
Because
Same here.
the way I was doing things just wasn't right.
Wasn't it?
It
Yeah,
wasn't
the thing was
version of
stinking.
myself.
The
The thing
thing
was
was stinking. And I don't want anyone to know that. So that whole he who's without sin cast the first stone, for me, I always think of, yes, what the person did was wrong.
Yes.
And you do have to, that's where sometimes that grace be running out a little bit. You do have to, the consequence will and may sometimes be the consequence.
Yeah.
But now, how do you come back?
Redemption.
The road to redemption.
How do I come
what
back?
does that look like?
Because if I'm still living, and I have honored and acknowledged the fact that, I used to do some things that I maybe wasn't supposed to do. I got caught up in some stuff that I'm not proud of. What does coming back look like? It can't be that I make a mistake and my life is over forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah. That road to redemption journey.
What is that like? What is that like? How do we even do that? How do we overcome the shame that comes and the embarrassment that?
And I feel like it's two sides. Like, how do we accept the people back, and how do they even start to accept themselves in a sense, right?
Yeah.
It's not even just a one.
Yeah.
It's not a one person show that part.
Yeah. But I feel like it starts first with me though. Before I gotta worry about you accepting me, I gotta accept me back again. How do we even start that part?
With forgiveness. With forgiveness, and it's going to take a journey and a lot of work, because now you have to flip. Just as great as you were, you can be great at doing really bad, or you can be great at doing really good. So you have to make the decision, right?
Yeah.
And so if you know that you have the gift to turn something to gold, you can do it again, but now do it again in the right way.
Ooh, I like that. So kind of like I made it before, I can make it again, but now this time, instead of swindling, I'm gonna figure out how to do it right.
So is it like a realizing? I mean, it may be sound a little fucked up, but stay with me. Is it kind of like realizing that, I'm a thief, I like to take things and I'm good at taking things, right? Like understanding like what the skill set actually is. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like it's just like a misguided skill set. Like
like the drug dealer.
Right. You're a businessman.
The stripper, she's an amazing entrepreneur.
She's a marketer.
She's a marketer.
You know, she knows how to market that thing, whatever
and a
that
confidence
thing is.
booster.
Yeah.
She can come in and make the.
She's a motivational
speaker.
speaker.
She knows how to get money out of people.
She's a motivational speaker. She speaks life into people.
She has
Speak life
compassion.
into them. She has compassion. She speaks life so good they be giving the money away.
Listen.
You know, like I never thought about it like that. Like realizing that, like, okay, instead of focusing so much on what's wrong with you, like how can you take that, for lack of a better word, skill set to do something good in the world? But what about if it's something like pedophilia or sexual deviance? Like how do you, because there's a lot of people that I'm sure if a pedophile could just say out loud to somebody that like, hey, I'm really desiring like these children. I don't know why I was touched as a child and I can't seem to like shake that. I don't know what to do. I've never really done it, but I really want like, how do you know what I'm saying? Like what if there were spaces that people could talk through those things before they mess up so badly and then it's just, you know, bury them under the jail?
Yeah, and these conversations should happen, you know, one of those, let's have a conversation at the table. Instead of what's in this house stays in this house. We need to share this out, because if not, it can grow and you don't know who this person, how great this person can become. And now that table's larger. Now it's not just a table, having a table and in the house and we're having a conversation as a family and being honest about who needs help here. But it's really looking at, okay, how do we support right now in this phase to prevent it from happening? And if we do more of the preventative work versus more of the
reactionary.
The cure. I'm always prevention instead of the cure. That's
and
like
then
my life motto.
And then there's still a piece, we're never going to get it right.
No, because
we'll never get it right. So you can sit here and raise the perfect family model and think you have the perfect children. and you'll never expect a pedophile or something that,
a murderer, a rapist, like
who's going to feel comfortable to say, I have a desire to take people's lives?
Yeah.
Who has it? But there's signs.
There are signs. And I think, too, that's where you got to be like, Johnny ain't all the way together there.
And being honest with yourself as a parent and not feeling the shame and guilt, so you just try to cover it.
Yeah.
It's just like, y'all didn't know that he was going to shoot the school up? Like, you had no idea?
And no clue.
And stop being so busy on the outside that we don't focus on what's happening on the inside of the home. So what's happening, this is a whole system break problem.
Yeah.
Because now what's happening is, let's remove the men from the homes.
Yeah.
Single mom has to struggle raising kids. She has to work full time, do extra work and time in order to keep the kids in school. She may or may not get any financial support. She may not even get any physical support from having a man in the house.
Yeah.
So she's left with not being home and the kids raising themselves.
Oof.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so you don't even have a chance to see what's happening because you're so busy. You're full. Your plate is full. There's nothing. There's no room to end.
And how am I going to tell you that the little boy in school is putting his fingers in my pants when I'm in school? Because you're going to be stressed out. And you already told me to go to bed because you're tired from working all day, going to school all day. You're upset with daddy. I heard you talking about him on the phone with your best friend. And
Yeah.
so who do I go to? Because I can't go to daddy because you're not talking to him right now. So I'm not going to see him next. It's a ongoing thing.
Yeah.
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 It's a domino effect. Like, it starts in
Yeah.
childhood for all these things. Like, there's
Yeah.
something that happened. There's so much science to back that up now and research to say, like, hey, y'all, if we could just get them while they're young, if we could just figure it out while they're young. I was telling Lucinda off camera how the neighborhood that I lived in was predominantly Black, and now it's shifting to mostly Jewish. So I get to observe and a lot closer the culture and the religion and things like that. And one of the things that I do notice is just how seriously they take indoctrinating their children. You know, and I just, like, maybe not in a religious sense, but I wish there was a bit more intentionality within our community of how and what we wanted our children to be.
I do like that about
I do like that. Like, I watch them and it's just like,
but you know what? But Muslims are the same thing though. Muslims, like those who are Muslim and who believe in Islam, from young.
Yeah,
it's discipline.
Discipline.
It's discipline. And setting you up for success.
Yeah. For what success looks like for them.
But starting like,
and you're getting core values immediately.
Yeah.
We don't act a fool.
Yeah.
We conduct ourselves a certain way. We dress a certain way. This is what the standard looks like. And a lot of times in the household, where's the culture and understanding the standard?
Right, like of who we are for real. You know, and I can see the difference. And I'm just like, I'm always like, why don't we have like Black schools, but not because just the population of the school is Black, but like a Black American school that has these things that we need to learn. Like when I'm driving around neighborhoods, I saw the other day a Jewish ambulance. I was like,
they got their own.
They make sure that the people who come to care about look like you.
They have their own police department. They govern themselves.
You know what I mean? I'm just like,
that's discipline. So what happens? They can go to any society and they'll be respected because they have a level of discipline and standard.
Right. Yeah.
They're not gonna. But here's the thing: they're not trying to be their kids' friends.
No.
The teachers are not trying to. So you have a level of respect for authority.
Yeah.
Not saying that they may not have the same issues we have.
Yeah, they
but
just
they're
keep
able
to
to deal with.
themselves.
So if it's a fall from grace, there's a level of authority that you know you
And
don't.
Do you think that sometimes in the Black community, because there is this culture, unfortunately, and this is just what it is right now because of all the reasons we know, but that crabs in a barrel, pull everybody down, tear everybody down. It's kind of like we're just so ready for everybody to fall from grace. So like it's like when they do, we can't wait to just like
rabid pit bulls.
Like, we can't wait to feed on the carcass, right? And it ends up, I think, especially from my own experience, turning you into a person that's so callous and not trusting of authority and not trusting of people in power and not trusting of religion and spaces where there are authority figures who may have fallen from grace or done things to betray your trust. So if you have been a victim of those things, how would you suggest that you start the healing? What does that journey look like to start to trust again?
So for that question, right, the crabs in a barrel. One, what I do love is that our culture, the African American, the Black culture, right, the culture, is beginning to it's a pride thing. So when we look at other cultures, they're proud of who they are.
Yeah.
And not to claim any blame on anyone, right? Because you did talk about feasting on the carcass. As soon as one of us falls, it's like the media is pulling it down, the tweets are going off.
Yes.
But when you're conditioned to not be seen as an eagle and they're telling you you're a vulture, you go after the dead carcass.
Oof.
So now you have eagles portraying to be vultures and going after the dead carcass instead of saying, wait, that's one of us. That person is an eagle. First of all, we're not even supposed to be this low. We go after live food.
Oh, hello.
We use our beaks to break into live food. And so because the culture has been broken down to see ourselves as a bunch of vultures, we think crabs in a barrel. We think scarcity. We think that mindset of, I don't want her to get higher than me. Because we're not realizing the wingspan. We're not realizing that we come from the mountain down. We don't come from below and can't even reach the wingspan of an eagle. So we're around a bunch of vultures who's telling us that they're eagles, but we're eagles and they're telling us that we're vultures. So now you have the mindset in a community and it's like, look at them. They're great. We're super creative. Look what we created, the inventions, the amount of trademarks we have. You know, so when you look at all of that,
Just all the things, and then look how fine we are too.
We are super fine.
Look at the material.
Super creative. And so when you look at that, it's okay. Now we're allowing a vulture to control our greatness. Looking at the Puffies, the Bill Cosby's, oh, you did something bad. We're gonna throw you back in with the bunch. So we don't want you to feel too hot. We're gonna let them know that, you know. And so because we're in this eagle and vulture.
Right. So you're talking about the environment that they're even in to begin with. It's not in their environment in the first place. That's the part of the conversation.
Why are we feasting on the carcass? That's our person. So they messed up. That's our person. He's still an eagle. Let's look at what's going on, and we'll deal with it the way we need to deal with it.
In-house. That's my thing.
Let's not grow. And so it's an in-house thing because that's how they handle their stuff.
Exactly.
But when you have vultures telling eagles that you're vultures, they're saying, go get them.
Right.
And now we're tearing up our own. And that's just not those who we see who are great and wildly successful.
Yeah.
There's some who are wildly successful as well. But some of us even feel like we have to tread lightly. But when we realize how strong we are and how we can be redeemed and restored and mess up and come back again and repair the community we damaged, that's what's going to have to happen. There's going to be a repair of what you created, a respect level for women, a respect level for human beings. And just as much as you can create and turn something into gold, nothing into something, do it again this time and do it great.
And do it the right way.
And understand that we're eagles. Our culture, I'm telling you right now, understand how your wingspan is. Understand we're not vultures. We don't go to the bottom of the barrel feasting off a dead carcass. Create, where's the next Diddy?
Right.
Be the next Bill Cosby.
Right.
And do it the right way.
And do it the right way.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a characteristic in them. The way they were able to fly, there's another person, same skills with Bill Cosby, who can do it even greater.
Right.
Yeah, I think this time what it is, and this is where you as a guardian or as a parent or as a community leader, it's hold them accountable early.
Yeah.
Don't hold...
especially them boys.
Especially your boys. And your girls, because we already been holding girls accountable too, but for your girls, make it so that they are seeing that they don't have to depreciate in order to have value. And make sure that your boys are accountable. Yes, girls need accountability too. It's not
but
what I'm
we
saying.
get that. We get that. Or a lot of us get that, especially Black girls. We get held accountable.
Yeah. So we need the value conversation.
Yes, and the self-worth conversation.
The self-worth conversation. We need the self-worth and the value.
Yeah.
But for the rest of all humans, we have to start holding ourselves and teach them personal accountability.
Yeah.
For me, I don't do religion. It's just ain't no conversation that's gonna get me to be able to do that. That's just it's a no for me, dog. However, I do appreciate the things and many of the lessons that being in such a religious setting young taught me. But the piece that I didn't like the most is that it made me hate me. And anything that makes me hate me means I'm going to act wrong with you outside because I don't like me inside. So teaching personal accountability.
Yes.
If I love me, I don't mishandle you because I love me so much. So if we can get back to that, I think that's how we move the entire culture, community, global community forward. And then the falls from grace, they're not so deafening and damning that it traumatizes
everybody.
Yeah.
Because it does.
It does.
We think it doesn't, but you tearing somebody else down, you're only tearing yourself down. We're all connected, so whenever you're doing this and you talking about this person and you want them to go to jail, like when I hear people say that they want people to die or they want people to go to jail, like do you know what that really means? Like even if that is what they deserve, to have the energy to wish that or want that for somebody is just,
especially if you're not someone who has been impacted
directly,
right?
Yes,
Because
I think that's the piece. Now somebody who's been impacted.
that's a different.
oh no, if your child is a victim, that's very different.
Healing.
Yeah.
It's a
different.
large healing thing. But if you're just a bystander watching,
And you just excited to like light the fire or stoke the
that's what
fire.
they used to do at the lynchings.
Yeah. I was just thinking that.
It was an entertainment concert show to watch.
It was a picnic. That's
and you
why I
see
don't
the
like
pictures.
picnics, because you would pick a nigga
And you burn them.
and you burn them.
And
you kill
sometimes
them,
they'll
you
do
hang
other
them.
things with body parts.
Yeah, you cut off their
And
private parts.
you know, I saw this documentary called Buck Breaking.
Mm.
And they also talked about how
They
the
were
lynchings, yes, on the physical level, but how they actually also understood that when you hang somebody and when they're dying slowly like that, their essence leaves their body. And they also were practicing ritualistic practices to like absorb the essence of the dying black man.
It's very
Like there's
it's a
so
very
many deep
evil-
layers that's just a little nugget, but I'm just saying like there's so many
But
layers
that's what they're doing today.
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly.
Within
It's
our
a
media,
modern day
it's a
Buck
modern
breaking
day
and lynching.
Yes,
Like,
and then
it's
we
different.
all are just like giving the energy and
Absorbing.
feeding it.
Not all of us.
Not all,
because-
right.
I just mean as a community. Like
As
we don't
a-
even realize it when we're constantly like every tweet, every article you read, posting, get him. It's that's that energy. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, look what they just did with Cardi and someone calling CPS on her kids.
Yeah. And she's like, yo, like this is real life. Like this isn't a game.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, this is someone's real life. We are, because we're gonna round it out, but we need you to understand that we are not saying that people should have no consequences for their actions. That is not what we're saying.
Not at all.
What we are saying is that he who is without sin should absolutely cast the first stone. And if you know you got chapters and parts of your story that you don't want read out loud, jumping on the bandwagon to incinerate someone who clearly has done some things that they were not supposed to, and they will have to honor and answer to that themselves.
Yeah.
What does it look like for us to, moving forward, raise our children differently?
Yeah.
Go within ourselves and acknowledge and honor the things that we too aren't doing so well.
Hello.
Work on that.
Mm-hmm.
What is the rehab? What does rehab really look like?
Yeah.
What
And
you know what I
that's-
mean? Like
and that-
what is
it requires-
rehabilitation?
Just as everybody is a part of the bad stuff, rehab looks like let's be a part of. Let's come together and try to repair together. Not you going through, you did this, you did that. It's not a finger pointing.
No.
The rehab is okay. How do we repair this?
Yeah.
Let's lay all of our stuff on the table, or whatever you feel comfortable with. Because grace gives you everything and asks for nothing.
Yeah.
So
I love that. We can end right there. Oh, that was great.
Listen.
Oh, that just warmed my little heart.
Where can we stay connected? How can we stay connected? Because we must.
I don't know. After this interview, I might not get any likes and comments. No, they're gonna be like, she's saying, let it go. No,
No,
but
this was, and we'll make sure too when we're putting it out that folks will make sure we have the disclaimers. But this isn't a conversation condoning bad behavior. That's not what
this is your show. This is exactly what the show is called.
We talk about the triggers and the traumas.
That's
and
right.
If that's not what you're interested in, then don't watch our show. But for us, as a collective human body,
We need answers.
healing is not something that's always so pretty and dainty.
No, it's not. No,
Sometimes you have to do shadow work, and shadow work means I got demons in me that I know sometimes don't be acting right. So I have to go to therapy. I have to go and talk it through with my good girlfriends. Hey sis, help me because I'm not sitting. Like last night I was giving Danny advice and said, hey babe, don't listen to that. That's not good advice. I'm just tired right now. Like, that's not, don't do that one.
Right, I love it.
Don't do that one. The advice is not advice right now. I got advice sometimes, but not tonight. But it's honoring the fact that we all are striving, well, not we all, many of us are striving to be better. And even in the striving to be better, we misstep, we make mistakes, we fall backwards, and we don't do it right. We sometimes fuck it up. And so in that, there has to be grace for us to, well, how do I then start again and get it right next time?
Exactly.
That's what this conversation is about.
Exactly.
And I think we're going to put that at the beginning so that they'll
Of all
know.
the clips?
Of every clip. This is a conversation about how do we get it right, because we all are going to fall short, and the humanity in us is going to make a mistake and going to do things that we're not always proud
That's
of.
so good.
But how do we bring it back?
Yeah.
That's
What
so
does
good.
redemption look like?
Yeah.
It's a journey.
Redemption, prevention, and then if we ain't prevent it, what does the redemption look like?
I love that.
That's a big.
I love that.
And no one can judge what that redemption looks like.
Yeah, I can figure that out.
This is our first go round on this place called Earth.
Yeah,
I've been here before, right?
I mean, not that I remember.
Not that I remember. So this is our first go round in this phase.
Yeah.
So we can work on getting it right every single day.
Yeah.
I love this.
So they can find out about me at lucindacross.com.
Yes. You can stay connected with us everywhere at Triggered AF PC. You can also connect with us at triggeredafpodcast.com. You can connect personally with me at Alicia Reese, spelled ALECHIA. I be having a good time. We be tripping out over there, so y'all don't judge me, okay?
You can stay connected with me at the Danny Bordeaux. Bordeaux is BOURDEAU. Thank you all so much for tuning into this episode. Share it with your mama, share it with your daddy, share it with your leaders, share it with anybody in your life that you think could benefit from this conversation. Our goal is to continue to give the tips and the tricks. We're not just here to vent and get it all out. We want to see how we can really move this culture forward with healing and understanding and love for one another. Thank you all so much for listening. Bye.